Hello, it's Ariel here. Today's dream interpretation is about dark entity into someone. Before I start, just a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purpose. If you have any medical or legal issues, kindly look for a professional to help. Okay, for this dream, I have a mixed feeling when I read this because I have a few personal experiences before I became a psychic. Before that, let me get down to my analysis and I will come back to my own story. If you are seeing a dark entity, I can tell you that it is a spirit. It has nothing to do with your actions or future or anything. You can just happen to step onto something or somewhere such as a dark alley, under the bridge, dark forests or places that are dark, because dark spirits like to stay in places that are with the same level of energy, which makes them feel comfortable. Otherwise, it could be a house that contains them before you even take over it, like the previous landlord passed away or things like that. I mean, you can't see them or feel them. It doesn't mean that they are not there, right? Well, in the dream, if you are able to identify this as a person or an actual human, then this dream may be associated with your life that is happening currently or in the future. If it's a black figure that you cannot identify whether it's a human, a ghost, or a monster, then you may have encountered a spirit. If you want me to specify about the spirit, it is definitely not your passed away relative or friends that it is something with negative energy. Okay, and whether this spirit is going to do anything to you, it really depends what is in the dream. And I found this dream on Reddit, which is pretty interesting, so I'm going to read it. A tall dark entity eating someone. I had a dream that this tall and dark human looking thing was eating someone in front of me. I was scared and was screaming the entire time. I've never seen anything like this in my dream, but I did in real life. My mother told me a story about how when I was 1 year old, she was drying me with a towel after she gave me a bath. I was shaking and she noticed that I was looking at something behind her. She looked and there was a tall dark ghost. It could have been my dad. He was at work and no one was living with us. So fast forward 14 years, I was laying in the bed trying to go to sleep when I was a tall dark human looking thing in front of me. I stayed still and then he just disappeared. I'm not sure what this means. I would really appreciate it if anyone could try to interpret this. Here, looking at the dream, the person says that there is this tall, dark, human-looking thing eating someone in front of her, and it scares her that she was screaming. If she was happy with the dark, human-looking thing eating someone, it means that it is protecting her. However, in the dream where she was screaming, it doesn't sound like she's being protected. It is pretty much like the zombie apocalypse. Like this dark entity is meant to be eating another spirit, and I strongly believe that there is such strong spirit around. However, I believe that why she gets to see that is because she may have entered somewhere unknowingly that belonged to the dark entity, and she may have accidentally stepped onto its energy. So when she brought it home, and some leftover energy was still with her until she falls asleep and get to the same wavelength, the same wave frequency as the energy. On top of that, she seemed to have this ability to see spirits since young, as she mentioned about seeing something behind her mother when she was 1 year old. I believe that it has been her gift being able to be connected with spirits. But to be honest, if you encountered such spirits, your emotions will change for a while because you have touched a negative energy accidentally. I'm not too sure what has happened to this person after dreaming this, but I'm going to share my own personal experience, which could help you better understand about seeing such dark entity. So previously I was staying in my boyfriend's place and he stays in a house. Like this house is pretty old, as you can hear from the name. It has been passed down for like many decades and was brought over by his family because it's like a limited edition. You know, Peranakan House. It's like an Indonesian designed house. So on top of that, the area that they are staying is quite dirty because it used to be a place for prostitutes and gang related stuff to happen. But right now it has been revamped by the government to be like a tourist attraction place and shopping malls. So my boyfriend's air conditioner wasn't working for a few days and you will find out why later. We had to open the windows to sleep every night and I had never slept with window open before because either I have my fan or aircon working, but those were my first time doing so. So for the first night, I dreamt seeing a dark entity trying to crawl up from my feet that was covered with blanket. I ignored that because it was, I thought it was like my imagination. But after that, it crawled all the way to my head and started stroking my hair. It felt so motherly that I ignored it because it feels okay. Then the scariest part is where it started to pull my hair so hard that I can feel the pulling and it starts to get painful. So I shook myself up and I finally escaped from the dream. At the point of time, I'm yet a psychic and I don't really know anything about spirits, so I thought it could be my imagination and I continued the second night without closing the windows. So I dreamt myself in the same room with exact settings for the second night, where the tables and chairs and shelves are all in the same place. I felt something that was coming from the toilet and there was shadow. So the steps from the shadow got louder and louder until it rang so loud in my ears that I got to wake up. Then I flipped around on the bed for another hour before I fall back asleep because I do not want to dream the same thing again, if let's say I fall back asleep. So the third night, I dreamt that the windows were open like how it is supposed to be. I saw things flying from left to right of the windows. So the first thing that flight was a witch that looking green, like the kind that you often see in cartoon, flying on the broom and laughing. Okay, that was pretty creepy. And second was a weird looking disfigured human flying. I couldn't remember how it looks like, but I knew something is wrong with this person and who the hell flies, And third was a spirit with long hair covering her head, wearing long white dress flying through. And it was really scary that I woke myself up again. I couldn't remember what happened to the rest of the dreams, but I believe that I've endured all these dreams for consistently like a week until I finally realized what's happening. So for the moment the air conditioner was fixed and the windows were closed, I don't experience all this stuff anymore. And guess why the aircon wasn't fixed immediately? It wasn't spoiled at the first place, but it was my boyfriend's helper who was pretending that the aircon was spoiled, so the both of us didn't get to use the aircon. And I mean, probably so that she could keep the rest of the money from the utility bills, as his parents aren't home most of the time and she's always the one who's taking care of the bills. So but anyway, that's over. If you want to know the reaction of my boyfriend's parents about my dream, as they were those devotees of Taoist god and they even had statues in their home, they said that there are no spirits at home and it could be me who brought them in. So what I'm trying to point out here is not about their reasoning. It is just sometimes people don't believe that despite of having God statue at home and there will still be spirits around. You cannot tell me that because there is God in the world, so there are no spirits present in the world. For my case here, the spirit come from the roadside or outside the window, and they were allowed to enter the house because we opened the window for them. You see, for the moment that the windows are closed, everything went back to normal and I don't get nightmares anymore. Anyway, for my takeaway from this video is that if you have faced such encounters with dark entity and others do not believe you, that is common. What you need to know is what is happening and how you can deal with it. There are a few ways that you can get rid of negative energies that accidentally stick onto you, such as burning sage, cleansing your house, doing salt bath. If you need any guidance on doing salt bath, you can always view my video on guided salt bath meditation, or the best is to stay positive. Yeah, so the last time I didn't do any cleansing because I wasn't in my own house. That wasn't my house, so I couldn't do much. But what worked best was to show the spirits that you are the lights and they can't get near you. Just imagine that you are the sunshine and you're so positive that the dark energies can't get to you. So that is how you can deal with them anytime, anywhere, and it is much more useful if you do not have any tools with you. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed my dream interpretation and personal story. If you have any dream that you want it to be interpreted, do drop me a tweet message so that I can share it on my channel. If you do not want me to share your dream openly, you can also support me on my OnlyFans for private reading. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!